Victor, can you hear me? Victor, can you hear me? Victor, can you hear me? Good morning. Welcome to the Breakfast Club. If you can hear, okay, good, Shelly. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. We're having some technical difficulties with the platform. They're changing stuff over, and we're just struggling a little bit with this. So anyway, good morning. Welcome to the Breakfast Club. Victor, if you can hear me, that's good. Keep your picture on there like that. I don't know. I don't hear you talking, so I can't hear you on there. But anyway, I'm going to. Good. Thanks, Rudy. Appreciate that. Hey, let me just say what a wonderful breakfast I had yesterday at Shirley and Rudy's. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That was a great morning. Started my Sunday off just wonderful. Anyway, let's get underway here. Mark will be with us shortly. Again, we were struggling, both of us, with our computers this morning and with the platform. So, you should have gotten an email very late. And the reason for that, again, is this platform, not the platform, but my email system had some struggles this morning. And finally worked them all through with Earthlink. So actually, it was Windows Live Mail that was the problem. So with that, you should have gotten an email that talked about being a good coach. This is the stuff that we're talking about all the time. And, you know, we should all be learning all the time. And I learned something at breakfast yesterday morning. I was not aware of this, that there is a wonderful brochure that the company has that Rudy showed me. He bought a few of those. And actually has a story to tell. I'll try to tell it the best I can, that one of the neighbors here in our complex is friends with Rudy, who happens to be pretty wealthy. And Rudy talked to him. And this is the kind of fellow that needs a good piece of information, something that says honest, something that says professional. And I am ordering some of those brochures today. I'm not even sure how much they are. I don't know if we found that out yet, but I know they're not cheap because these are so nicely done. It's probably the best brochure I've seen in any company, anywhere, at any time, at least equal to. So I suggest you look into that. Now, I'm not telling you to get those and hand them out to people randomly. That's not what they're for. And if somebody asked me for that over the phone, I wouldn't send them one. I think it's basically for meeting purposes, if you're conducting a meeting. And number two is if you meet someone, sit down with them personally. If they have a true interest, you want to find that out first. So sitting down with someone is really no different than being on the telephone with them as far as what you're trying to achieve. So first, you got to get your particular house in order when it comes to communicating. That's number one. And learn how to communicate your message, and then coach others to do the same thing. And if that means pointing them to a class, that's what it means. Some people aren't equipped to be teachers. They're just not equipped to be teachers, right? They don't want to be. They don't communicate well. They don't come off well. The confidence level is not as high as they'd like it to be. So it's not good to sit there and try to tell everybody, try to teach everybody when you're not really a teacher. That's why we have classes, webinars, briefings, overviews, opportunity meetings, and so that other people can tell the story. But this brochure that Rudy showed me really tells the story, to be perfectly honest with you. It says, as the minute you look at it, this is serious. This is for real. Nobody spends this kind of money on a brochure, without being professional, legitimate. So, what you want to make sure of, again, your house is in order, coaching or communication-wise, and then coach other people. And again, if that means moving them to someone who can coach them, or a program or a lesson or a class, that's fine. But you still should learn the principles. But there are stumbling blocks to coaching, and we're going to go over those. I want to bring those to your attention. Once again, let me just make this announcement before I go. So I got phone calls over the weekend I have not responded to. And if you know me personally, you probably know why. So I apologize if I did not get back to you. Today, it's okay. Send me another message, an email, or a phone call, and just leave me a message. Joe, I left you a message, or, I'd like to speak with you. I'm going to be tied up pretty much for the day, but I will have my phone with me. So do call and let me know. If I missed your call, don't take offense to it. It's just that I have had some struggles over the weekend. So let's get down to this struggles, so to speak, with coaching, because there are stumbling blocks. Most people don't know how to coach. They don't know how to teach. And it's because they've never been taught. I learned a long time ago that a man can only go as far as they're taught, right? And we've all learned things in life that, that we were taught, and many times taught wrongly. We know that from the communication class, that most of us have been taught wrongly about communicating with people and who you are and what you should be saying and not saying, and how long you should be on a call, and how you move them over, and having the confidence to have someone as a director for you to direct people to registration. So I'm going to share my screen here and then bring up the document we'll take a look at. Let's see. Oh, okay, somebody's having problems. I'm reading some of the chats here. Try going out, coming back in. Shirley, Robert, and I. Yeah, I see. I can't hear a thing, Robert. I just saw Victor's. Okay. Just, I see people saying, yes, we can hear you. Other people are not. When that happens, just as Mark said, go out and come back in. Life is not perfect. Platforms aren't perfect. Webinar Jam is switching over to a little different platform. So if that happens, and you notice that you can't hear or can't see, or you're not communicating, hear the communication, just go out, come back in. Then we'll see what happens. The majority of the people, apparently, we're having no issues here. So, okay, so let's do this. Let me share my screen. Let's do that first. And now there's our tunnel. Now let's go to the document. Mark, can you let me know that you can see the document?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, let me turn my sound up. I can hardly hear you. Say that again.
Yes, I see it.
Okay. All right. This is some interesting information that we want to take a look at. And as a team, this is the kind of stuff we should be working on. People in your own group should be working on recognizing things that need adjustments. And in coaching, now we can go back over the steps, and that is registration with the company. Once you get a person on a three-way call, 90% of the people should be registering with our company, either with a customer, either being a customer or being an affiliate. That should happen with your three-way conversation. Your director should be able to give enough information and let that person know that registering with our company is free, and that they will get most of their questions answered as they get through some training. No obligation to purchase anything to get that information. So let's get in a management training program here, and we'll get your questions answered. With a little coaching and a lot of support, can you see yourself doing what it takes? That's why that question is there. So that's step number one, getting them registered. Number two, as we know, is let's join Tools Rock and get a 30-day look at that. It's not a free look, it's a $20 look to see if this marketing tool is right for you. The websites that we have that you can send people to, different categories. The autoresponder, let me say that word in a different way. Automatic invitation letters that go out to people, inviting them to be either a customer or being an affiliate with us to learn how to manage a business from home. That's what an autoresponder is. It's an automatic invitation letters, series of them that go out. So that's step number two, part two is to get that done and get into as many classes as possible to learn what it is you need to learn to move forward, meaning to purchase, to be able to move cash to gold, set it up once a month, at least, whether that's, a 1 gram or 5 gram purchase, who knows, but at least get that automatically set up. And now that process is in place. That's what you should be coaching people to do. There's a checklist for them to see when they come in. If you don't get them into Tools Rock, what process are you using? How are you moving them forward? How are you coaching them? Telling them to go to a webinar? I mean, Mark continues to say when he talks to people, we have a system. One of his very big new players wanted him to do something different and go off track, and Mark refused and told him, let me tell you how we work. We have a system that we follow. I can't break the protocol here. Here's what we do, and we'll take care of that when we get here. You have to learn to do that, right? People follow courage. And you know what? That fellow has much more respect for Mark than he already had. Because he's not going to just do what somebody thinks they should do. So we have to learn those things. So now that we have the person in the system, we have to learn certain skills ourselves. Roadblocks to productivity, which leads us to coaching, right? So let's take a look at this. One of the most constant questions I'm asked as a leader, how can I lead my team to a higher level of productivity without either killing them or throwing more money at them? It's a legitimate question all leaders face. One that we all ask ourselves every day. I mean, come on, everybody knows. Look at that statement there. That's one of the most common questions. How do I get my team going? I got blue dots. How do I get to the blue dots? How can I reach them? Well, I wish the company would give me so I could reach out to them. What would you do if you could reach out? Just talk to them and tell them to buy gold? Because that's what a lot of people do in this business. Is they want to call you and talk to you about the importance of buying gold. Well, yeah, that's transactions, and if everybody in Carrot Bars, I guess there's 300,000 plus people. Imagine if they were all buying a gram of gold every week. We'd be making some very, very serious money throughout the entire company. Some of the reasons they don't is there's poor management. And I don't mean corporate, I mean poor management within the affiliate programs. Be careful what you talk to people about. I have a really bad taste in my mouth from uplines that they're constantly wanting to know about productivity without any real support. Mark knows exactly what I'm talking about. The pressure we face to produce more and more are real, daunting, and at times extremely scary. There is, however, a simple yet very powerful model I teach business leaders in how to break through 5 common roadblocks to productivity. Here are 5 common roadblocks to pursue and how to address each one. Ready? Here we go. Roadblock number 1, unclear goals. You may understand the goals, but never assume your team does. Simply stating goals are at the beginning of the year or even having one mid-year review is not enough. Through consistent, timely, weekly, daily reviews of the company, department, and individual goals, you will go a long way to overcome this simple yet reoccurring roadblock. Now let's talk about that for a minute. How many of us are talking to people, their affiliates, about what goals that they have for the week, for the day, for the month, for the year, for the mid-year? How many of us are doing that? When you get a leader that's trudging forward, you don't need to be coaching them any longer. You need to get out of the way, and if you've taught it properly, they're going to coach their people the same way. You coach until you see that leader that says, get out of my way. I don't need this coaching anymore. Yeah, we can have reviews and we can talk, but I got it. I have the process. Unclear goals. I would suspect that most people are not, the day they have scheduled to work, are not setting a goal on how many people they're going to contact every day. That's one of the clear goals. That's what it says. Consistent, timely, weekly, daily reviews of the company, department, and individual goals. Individual goals. You'll go a long way. So if you're working with a downline, even an upline, get together with them and start establishing clear goals on what to achieve every day. And that has to be phone calls and connections. It can't be just emails sent out and waiting. We've learned a lesson this year about companies providing us with leads, telling us that people filled stuff out when we know that's not true. So we've adopted a new company, Lead Skimmer, that doesn't provide leads. It shows you how you go build a database. And it's going to take time. Depends on your activity. So you should be spending time also on building that database every single day, adding people to the database. And Lead Skimmer gives you the ability to send messages to people about joining Lead Skimmer for free. And every time you get a new person join Lead Skimmer and they go to their back office, even as a free person, they see your ad. Because you're able to put up an ad for Mayan has a Carrot Bars ad there. So everybody that belongs to Lead Skimmer and logs into their back office sees my ad before they get to their back office. That's how it was set up. It's ingenious. It was a great idea. It's like getting a newspaper every day. You open it up and guess what? Boom, there's your ad. And so now you have a list of people that you can start marketing to and talking to about your program. So I suggest you find that way. Get rid of that roadblock on what are you doing daily. 1, building your database. 2, connecting with people that are in that database and finding out if they are an interested party to what you would like them to do. Manage a successful business from home, and let me show you it. So therefore, take a look at this. We'll get back together and see if we're on the same page. So we should be very clear on roadblock number 1. It is listed as number 1 because it's the main problem. Basically, no activity because they're unclear goals on a daily, regular basis. Okay, let's go to number 2. Unclear standards. Boy, this is a big one for me. Standards are the minimum acceptable level of performance. Period. Do not assume your team knows how well they are supposed to perform their duties. By ensuring every key goal has clear, measurable standards based upon Quality, quantity, time, and or cost, you will eliminate one of the most common reasons for underperformance. So if someone that I bring aboard is not showing up, is not contacting me, is not joining Tools Rock or a program that has a activity system, how would I possibly work with them? If they're not performing, and I have to let them know. And you know what lets them know about the standards? Join Tools Rock, go to the affiliate guideline book, and go to the checklist, and you'll see the minimum acceptable level of performance. It's right there. Just plain as day. So those people that do that, I don't chase them around and make phone calls and try to encourage them to continue. Come on, I do that with people who work. People that want to work and show that they're willing to do what it takes and willing to learn. I asked them in the interview, or the director did. Little coaching, a lot of support. Can you see yourself? And they go, yeah. Okay. Can you see yourself doing what it takes? Know what doing what it takes means? It means getting your checklist, going through the affiliate handbook, sending back the form, and getting Tools Rock all set up. That's what it means. And sending out, and on the days that you work, if it's 2-3 days a week, they're the days that you're contacting and connecting and building your database. Okay, let's go to number 3. Unclear rewards or punishments. Just a little. If you have any kids, you know exactly what I mean. Through reinforcing both the upside of good performance and the downside of poor performance, you can inspire higher performance in all employees. This is hard in our industry because we can't be, the rewards can be you get more time. So if you're wondering what rewards, Art Williams, Bob Safford, all these guys were big on trophies. I still have T-shirts that Art Williams gave out T-shirts. He was a football coach, and you got a T-shirt in the locker room for performance. We got that every Tuesday. We had a RVP meeting with Bob Safford, and at that meeting, we had to post our report for the week, our performance, and the number one person got a number one T-shirt for the week. Now, we can't do that here. So we have to find other ways of measuring that and giving a reward. For me, it's more time with me to go over communication and problems that they're having. Other people, if they're not performing, they don't get priority. Number 4, lack of accountability. Perhaps the most frustrating to both leaders and employees. Who is accountable for the results? Ultimately, the leader is accountable for the team's performance. Yet, too many leaders only delegate responsibility without accountability. The fastest way to overcome this roadblock is to and you heard this many times, inspect what you expect. Don't delegate, then follow up with employees at the right times. Don't delegate, then abdicate. Don't do that. Follow up with your people at the right times. This is real big. It's really hard for a coach that's not used to coaching to go in and ask for people's performance. I have somebody recently who hasn't been with our company for 4 years, registered, didn't do one thing, and now they want me to be accountable to them? That doesn't work that way. Want to know what I'm doing and the performance of the team on this side? You haven't been here for 4 years, and now you decide you're coming in, and now you're going to, because you're above me, you want to know what I'm doing? Go back and listen to tapes. Go in the communication class, I told them. I communicate with Mark, and we don't consider upline and downline. We're partners. And you don't have to look at upline, downline, and act like a big shot. There's expertise on both sides. Honor them, respect them. But I'll say this to the upline now. Don't call me and after you've not been here for 4 years and all of a sudden tell me you know the industry and accountability is, are you kidding me? So my point of telling you that is don't let your people do that. Don't let somebody come in and all of a sudden you're in tune and you're trying and doing, and all of a sudden somebody you've never heard from, all of a sudden they're calling you. Team up with people around you who are like-minded, who are following the same pattern and the same plan. Find out what they know, how they can contribute to your performance. And be accountable to yourself and to them. It's hard to be accountable to somebody else. It can be tough because it puts pressure on you, and pressure changes everything. And number 5, lack of urgency. All too often, affiliates, employees, people in general, and entire teams seem to lack any sense of urgency in getting things done. This often stems from misunderstanding the importance of timely goal completion. When affiliates, employees fully understand the critical nature of the when, they are far more likely to finish the task with both urgency and excellence. One of the things in the phone call to a prospect is display a sense of urgency. You know how you do that? You set appointments. When you make a phone call and you are explaining to someone that you'd like them to look at something, and they say, I'll look at it and I'll get back to you. See, my response would be, well, Frank, let me tell you how we work. I send you the information, you take a look at it, and then we'll get back together and see. So is Wednesday good or Thursday better? No, I said I'll call you back. Great. But let me stress how we work. My job is to get you the information and then schedule an appointment and get back together and see if we do have a match and if then we could possibly move forward. So again, Frank, are Wednesdays good or are Thursdays better? I've given him 2 chances now to agree to set an appointment. If he doesn't agree, he doesn't get the information, and I don't continue the call. And we all know, if you've been through the class, the next statement from me would be, sure, Frank, I understand where you are. Let me ask you this final question then. Who do you know that would be interested in a career change for the right money? If they're not going to follow now, they're not going to follow later. Trust me. So it's just an elimination process. It's a good way to dismiss that person who's not going to follow. But having a sense, creating that appointment is creating that sense of urgency. That's part of it. So don't forget that. That's really, really important. And now, just go back to the affiliate and your partner. Lack of the sense of urgency in getting things done. That's what accountability is about. That's why we have a checklist and an affiliate handbook, guidelines, is to display the importance. So when we give somebody a checklist, they have 24 to 48 hours to complete the list, to get down to watching the videos for Carrot Bars, understanding how to get their KYCs done, understanding how to get their monthly purchase set up or exchange, watching the rest of the videos, learning more about the comp plan, and then getting over to the marketing plan. Part 2 of our educational vault is the marketing system, learning how to do that, learning how to get it all set up. And those who are doing that get the reward of phone calls, communication. Otherwise, I tell people, just go read it all and we'll get back together again. Other people get direct help because they're showing within 24 to 48 hours that they are going to get this job done. They did what they said they were going to do. Learn how to manage a successful business from home with teaching and coaching and a lot of support. So, First step to higher productivity. Before leaping into complicated, even esoteric approaches to breaking through your roadblocks to productivity, I recommend you first clarify with your team the what, the how, the why, the who, and the when. The goals, the standards, the rewards, the accountability, and the urgency. Get together with your partners. And you know what? Even if it's not in your downline, some of you are sitting there without a downline and nobody to work with. Partner up with other people. Even if financially you're not connected. You're connected business-wise to help one another. And eventually that can break off to where you start growing your team and you can work with it. That would give you enough practice. Original? Not really. Simple? You might be surprised. You may need to invest some serious time in one or more of these areas. This time, however, will certainly return a huge dividend through crystallizing for everyone how to overcome the roadblocks to your team's productivity. Once again, you can see this again on YouTube in 10 minutes or so. It's up here. Make notes. So I hope that helps today, Mark. I hope that gives people a clear idea about productivity and coaching, what it really means to be a better coach. It means that you learn the steps and teach your people the same thing. So I'll go over to you, buddy.
Well, I'll tell you what, Joe. I very, very much appreciate what you just did, because what it does for me, it helps give me even more of the CCMP, clear, concise mental picture. And I think that's what's needed, because, you know, if you don't have that, then where are you going? Where are you going with your business? So I would encourage everyone to look at it again and look at it as much as you need to, because if you're going to grow this business, this is not an easy business. I mean, some people think you just, this is why you have some people come in because they know a few people and this and that, and they become what you call one-hit wonders. They'll hit it real big one month, and then the next month they're gone because they didn't get the training, they didn't get the system, they didn't get whatever they really needed to make it successful for a lifetime, as opposed to a month or 6 months like that. And that's not what we want. You made another point that I want to point out, is that, like Joe said, if you don't have anybody, work with somebody else. And the thing is that 98% of the people that come to the Breakfast Club, there is no financial connection with Joe and myself. And you know what? That doesn't matter to us, because that's not what we're about. So I'm saying that to say this, that if you're willing to work with somebody and they give up themselves and their time, and they're not looking for anything in return except for you becoming successful, then what you do is you do that for somebody else. And that's an extension of us. And so that's how we get paid. But the point is that we have to understand what we're doing, how we're doing it, and when are we going to do it. It's that simple. You know, we have this 12-week plan, right? We have this, we have that. Well, let's put it to the test. But the thing is, what you saw this morning, look at yourself. As Joe was going through it, I began to look at myself. And I've got some weaknesses. I really do. But I see where I can work on them. And the thing is that you work with those that are willing to work with you. Don't spend your time with people that are not willing to follow courage and do what you do and do what you need to do. If they're not going to work in your system, guess what? It's not going to work anyway. It's just that simple. So that's my thought for today. So thanks, Joe, because I saw myself in some of those things, and I would definitely, review that to work on it, because I don't want to try to teach somebody or something in an area that I might be a little weak in. I would prefer to get stronger in it first and then teach it. And guess what? We get stronger together by working together, by sharing together, by studying together, by testing each other and working with each other. That's how you build a team. If together everyone achieves more. you know, nobody's bigger than anybody else. We're together. If you want to be in this family and work together, that's what we do. So that's my thought for today, Joe. And again, thank you. Peace and blessings, everybody. Joe, I'll let you go ahead and close out.
Announcement. Sorry.
Okay, you can go ahead and close out.
One is tomorrow night. Let me make these clear to people. Tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern, Anson Ashby joins us to go over, to teach, to educate how to build a database and how to improve your data building, your database building with Facebook. Probably the final lesson, at least temporarily, and then we'll be moving into LinkedIn. So even if you don't belong to Tools Rock, it's a pretty darn good place to arrive tomorrow night with Anson Ashby. He's a really good teacher and precise. Now, that being said, every Wednesday at 9 p.m., he teaches Tools Rock. And when I say teaches, it's an open session where you can come in and ask questions, anything you want to know about Tools Rock, how it works, this you're having trouble with, and so on, Wednesday night at 9 p.m. So it's Tuesday at 9, Wednesday at 9, and then again Thursday afternoon at 12 p.m. Now, the Wednesday and Thursday sessions are not on Webinar Jam. They're on Anson's platform. And for those of you that belong to Tools Rock, you should be getting a notice every week how to register for that. I don't have the registration for this week yet, but we'll get it. Now, to get on tomorrow night, it's just go back to thebreakfastclub.ws and register for that class. I think I have it put up there. I'm not sure, but if not, it'll be there today, where you can register for tomorrow night. We have to change that every week. We can only get so many on the registration form. And also, we are still working on a few adjustments on doing the AdTech Gold or the 12-week the AdTech business presentation, which we'll be doing on a daily basis. We thought today would be the day with this platform change where we have a little bit of a struggle. We're hoping that it will be tomorrow no later than Wednesday, which means that every day at 12 o'clock and at 9 p.m. Eastern, you'll be able to bring a new guest. So the way to build this is to think today about bringing a new guest to the Breakfast Club tomorrow, getting some more education, and then tomorrow night with Anson Ashby. If you want people to know how to do this business, let them come in and learn the Facebook part of this on how to build a database. A lot of people want to know how to do that professionally, and Anson has the answers for us. So please put those on your schedule. For those of you that have joined Lead Skimmer, a free service, and teach you how to build a database, and you want to know more on how it really works, I am putting together a class, meaning a 30-minute session on what Lead Skimmer is really all about and why it's important to use that. It certainly has an upgrade that you can get involved with, but it's not necessary. It's free to join Lead Skimmer and learn how to build a database. So I wanted to bring that to your attention. Tomorrow morning, the Breakfast Club, and hopefully in the next 2 days, we'll have it set so that at noon, which means you'll go to the Breakfast Club, we will shut down the Breakfast Club, and then you will be re-registered for the 12 o'clock AdTech Worldwide Business Presentation, where we will come in, and right at the top of the hour at 12 o'clock, a screen share will be done, and they watch the business presentation. I suggest you get there for that and bring people to it who may be interested in learning how to get their financial house in order and build a successful business with our company. So that's what I wanted to say, Mark. And so with that, I'll just close here and say thanks for being here, everybody. Have a wonderful day today. And, you know, information's important, but it's only powerful when you use that information. So go ahead and use these things, and we'll chat tomorrow, and have a great day today. And we'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow at the Breakfast Club. With Mark Stevens, this is Joe Shoup. Have a great day, everybody.
Peace and blessings, everyone.